breaking news on Ohio State.
We
Mikey,
do
what
have
we know?
breaking news from Ohio State. Just into the inbox. Just in. Contract extension for Ryan Day. He will now be paid $9.5 million annually, up from $7.6. The contract runs through the 2028 football season. On top of that, Chris Holtmann, who was on the show Monday, also has gotten a 3-year contract extension to the 2027-2028 season. He receives a salary increase of $500,000, so he goes from $1 million per year to total compensation of $3.5 million with a base salary of $1 million. So major contract extensions for the Buckeyes.
Guys, I'm
dishing out that money.
I mean, I don't know how Ryan Day's family was going to survive on $7.5 million a year. I'm so glad he got the $9.5.
Well, I would have done it, and I think he's worth every penny of it.
I'm kidding.
I mean, does anybody think otherwise?
No, he deserves
Buckeye?
it.
I'm about to say
Ryan Day is probably one of the best coaches in college football. And by the way, he got that money because he can recruit his tail off.
And he's got a good-looking beard.
Ryan Day deserves that money for many other reasons outside of even just being a football coach. That man really genuinely cares about his players. He truly puts them in positions. Urban Meyer started Real Life Wednesdays. It was a thing that they brought to the program. So if you don't make it to the NFL, he's going to bring a job fair. He's going to prepare you to go do interviews and stuff like that. Ryan Day continues to keep that going on so kids will have success post-football career.
He doesn't talk it, he lives it.
He lives it. Then on top of that, he's dealing with, you had the one kid had the suicide thoughts, he had to retire. He's there for him. He's like a father figure to him. There's so much that goes on at Ohio State off the field, and he's the first person that they call because they trust him. They believe that he's going to get things done for them.
I love to hear that.
I love to hear genuine. That. Like I said, I've never played for Ryan Day, not a snap, but every time I go to the Woody and talk to him, he treats me like I'm one of his players. We sit there, talk, laugh. He's a really good guy.
I love to hear that because we've talked on this program already and will continue to in the future how the system, yesterday Maurice Clarett was in your chair for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And the general takeaway is the system uses all of the moving parts. We talked about how it used the Tressel as the head coach.
Right.
So it's not just players. You know, when your usefulness is done, you're gone, and they don't think about you anymore. So I love that our university that we cheer for has a guy in position that isn't just talking that talk, but he's walking it too.
Yep, absolutely.
It felt like from an outside perspective that Urban Meyer didn't care about his players.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Okay, straighten us out.
Urban definitely. That's one thing I'm gonna tell the world.
It is a misconception.
One thing I will say. I will say this. Urban 100% puts you in position to succeed, whether it's football or post-athletic, because he definitely made us come up with 5-year plans, 10-year plans. I still got mine on my phone. He made us do job fairs.
Really?
Yes, made us put suits on, even buy you the suit. Get you the suit, shirt, and tie. You got to come up.
Hold on. That never happened.
You know, the university. The university.
You get that back. You got to get that back, bro.
University. Let me take that back. Anyway, get you the suit and tie. Make sure that make sure you go into class. There was a kid on our team by the name of, we called him JC guy, but his name was Corey Smith. Came from a bad environment. We called him JC guy because he came from a junior college.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, when you go to a junior college.
JC guy.
Right. So, obviously, it's bad things that come with junior college players. So, but he got under Urban, and Urban really worked with this kid because he had a lot going on, like just bad area, a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have been doing. He was into it. He did everything he could to get him straightened out. You know what happened? The kid ended up graduating from college. Now, he didn't have a career in the NFL, but he's a national champion, and he got a degree from The Ohio State University. And I don't think that would happen if he never met
If you were
Urban.
to, and I'm not going to ask you to do this, but if you were to text Urban right now, would he get back to you?
You know what? That's funny. That's funny that you bring that up. Yeah, he would.
See, that's how I asked this question of a lot of big-time athletes.
I'm different
because I've been able to weed out the contenders from the pretenders. You're a player.
Yeah, I thought he wouldn't. But if I texted him, he would. He called. As a matter of fact, he randomly called me like a couple months ago.
You on TV now, so you control his destiny. You're like, I'm gonna listen.
That might be slightly true.
No, listen, Urban's
slightly true.
The whole Zach Smith, the coach.
Yeah, Zach Smith.
That whole thing was like, Urban came off bad in that.
He did. But I think Urban fell victim for trying to protect everybody. He wanted to. Zach was his guy. And he didn't want to put him out there in the bad light. He wanted to if anything, he said, you know what, just put it on me. I'll take it. It's kind of what Jim Tressel did with Terrell Pryor.
Yeah. So it's interesting you said that because I talked to a player who was out of the program at that time, but not long removed from it. Yeah. And he said, here's Urban's fault. He is so loyal to the people that are in his circle that he's willing to take a hit.
He will.
Knowing he knew he was going to get killed in the media for what he did. He didn't for a second think that was going to be well received.
That's what he's supposed to do.
But it's true.
I want my coach to be loyal.
It's different. A lot of people, when it's time to stand up and take that hit, people are dodge that.
You know how many coaches have said, "Oh no, throwing you to the wolves." I don't know. I didn't know any about that, but now that I know, he's gone.
That's the reason. That big price tag. That's the reason you go from 7.5 to 10 almost, because you there to take the hit. At the end of the day, these people. I remember my college coach saying, "Look, we used to have. I was like, yo, I got this class I got to go to." And he's like, "Well, go to it." I'm like, "Well, I'm a freshman. I'm getting redshirted." He's like, "Bro, you redshirted." I'm like, "What do you mean just go to it? That means I won't be at practice." He's like, "Listen, if you don't graduate, or if you don't play well, or if you don't go to class, my family depends on you." They said, "Who recruited that guy?"
Yeah, sure.
The ineligible guy. Who recruited him? Or the guy who can't get to when he told me that, I thought about it differently. When you get to that level, it's a business. Like, and even if you're just a college player and it's on that level, you start knowing it's a business when they start having people follow you around and be like, "Yo, I want to make sure you're going to be at class today."
That's a fact. They do that.
True.
What do you think about the whole? I know we'll get a little off topic. We'll get back to Ohio State, but I'm just curious your take on what happened with Urban in Jacksonville. Like the whole, were you surprised that it didn't work out?
No, I wasn't surprised. Some of those stories that came out, I was like, he 100% did that. Like, that was just the type of
He got away with it in college.
Yeah, but in college, like, it was a joke. Like he talk about the specialists all the time.
I think he meant it as a joke in Jacksonville too.
But
it wasn't perceived as a joke.
These is grown men with families.
Grown-ass men, and if you can't joke with someone who's.
So I when he went to Jacksonville, I said some of the methods that he did in college is not going to translate. They're not going to go for that.
Different.
And I think it's one of those things that. It's a great plan. Like, he got a great plan on winning. If you follow that plan, it's been proven to work. He has teams where it's obviously he's won the championship with them. The hardest part is getting behind that plan, because you all your life, especially in the NFL, if I'm an all-pro or if I'm a Pro Bowl player, what I do works. I know what I need to do. So you're not about to come in here and change my routine.
No, that's a great point.
That's a great
point.
So
that's where the back and forth and push and pull comes, and that's why I said I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, his ego was big, rightfully so. He'd done it all on the college level, and he'd done it at two major programs. The one thing I'll say on Urban before we move on, because there's another big Ohio State football topic I want to get to, but the thing on Urban that I think is unfair is people say, well, just go look at his players at Florida and look at his players at Ohio State and look at the guys that got in trouble. He had over 2,000 kids between Florida and Ohio State.
Yeah.
You can go to any major program in the United States of America, and you're going to have those kids. Right. Notre Dame has those kids.
Yeah.
Kids get in trouble. A certain percentage of them are going to do things that are not tolerable.
Yeah.
But I've talked to enough guys that have come through Urban's program that speak to him as a second father.
Yeah.
And most of them say one thing. I wouldn't be where I am today without
That's
Urban
a fact.
And that's what they're supposed to do.
When he presented to you, because I've been on both sides. I've been in the doghouse, and then I've been on Urban's good side. And obviously, me as a freshman, he was one of those, if you're not doing nothing for me, I don't really want to talk to you type of thing. You're red shirt. Like, what are we even talking to? What are we talking about? So being on that side, it was hard for me to comprehend. It's like, dude, like I'm trying to get my education. I'm trying to do everything right. But it's like when you get to the league, it's just like that. If you're not doing nothing in the league, we cutting you. Like, So he basically giving it to you really early. And if you can handle it, when you get to the next level, not in just the league, in life, if you're not doing something.
I'm guessing that motivated you to become better.
It does.
Because you wanted.
Because you see how he treats all the other players like, that's his guy, man. I want to be like that. So it motivates you to get better, and you do put in the extra work.
And that's their job.
Yeah. Will he have a coach again?
No.
I don't think he will either. If he does, it'll be in college. He'll never coach in the NFL.
No chance.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to figure out what he figured out once in life, but then changed his mind. There's no easier way to make a living than being a highly paid analyst on TV in something that his homework is done. It's his life's work. Tom Brady's going to figure that out when he goes to Fox and makes more money than he's making now in the NFL.
Yep.
Like, he's not going to get blindsided. And Urban told me when he was working at ESPN, we were talking about how he liked it. He goes, I'll tell you this, I'm undefeated.
Right.
And
No
when
pressure.
your job's done, it's done. You're
Yeah.
not answering phones at 3 a.m. saying, wait, you did what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's stressful.
We want to talk about divisions in the Big Ten because this has been a hot topic, particularly for fans of Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan.
Yes.
Since they've had these divisions, the East and the West. All the power is in the East.
Yes.
And they've got to play each other, and only one of them can survive. Meantime, you got the bums in the West, usually Wisconsin, skating to a West Division title and getting that auto bid in the Big Ten championship game. In 2023, that guy is likely to go bye-bye. So with all the changes that are coming in college football, and these are kind of secondary, but the NCAA is about to make major changes. But this realignment vote is expected to pass. And then what the Big Ten championship game would be the top 2 teams overall.
Yeah.
Like it or hate it.
Love it. I think it's the best decision they could have made. They should have been done it. I mean, granted, the way things were last year, you probably would have had Ohio State versus the team up north back-to-back weeks. But that's good football. That's what you want. You want the best teams in your division representing the championship game. It is really no point of the Big Ten West, period. Like you said, you got Wisconsin and Iowa, and Northwestern has been somebody. But I think if there wasn't no segregations in them, it would literally be a combination of Ohio State, team up north, Ohio State, Penn State, and Ohio State, and Michigan State. I think those are
Right.
That's it.
And
every year.
But I think you made the point. I agree with you. I'm glad they're changing it. I think the only reason they had divisions in the first place is because they didn't want Ohio State and Michigan playing twice because the game's so important.
Yeah.
But, like, I think most fans now, you're a player. You said you don't care if you play twice.
No.
As a fan, again, I didn't
Fans
grow up with
want
it.
that
I
second
want to
game.
see them play twice. I got no problem with
Imagine
that.
this year if the Big Ten
I'm about to
championship
say,
game was a redo.
No.
Who's not going to watch that?
Oh, and it's
in.
indoors at the Colts Stadium. No weather elements. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Actually, they've
Neutral field.
They've been doing themselves a disservice for about 10 years because, you know, there's teams that could have been on the bubble. Penn State was a one-loss team a few years. Michigan State one-loss teams. So if you go in to play Northwestern and they're ranked 20th something, or you playing Iowa and they're ranked 15th, you need those points. You need to get that ranked win. So why not play Michigan back-to-back weeks and you play them and they'll be if you beat them 1 versus 2, then they fall to what, 5?
You know
and
what,
you
Gino? I'm surprised it's expected to pass. Like, if you're Ohio State, Michigan, or Penn State, you're like, hell
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But if you're all the other teams, what is in it for you?
Nothing. They'll say bye-bye if you don't like it. This is
Yeah,
what
but you're not going to kick all
I
11
guess the
teams.
bad schools,
no.
it doesn't matter either. Like for Rutgers,
Well, Rutgers and
doesn't
Maryland.
matter either
No,
way.
but you know what?
Yeah.
Like, if you're a team in the West,
yeah.
even Wisconsin,
Right.
now they're looking at it and saying, well, our path to the Big Ten championship game just got real rocky.
Yeah.
Before, they were like, I like our chances. We got to beat Iowa this
But
year.
the thing is, if you do make it to the game and you win out, your strength of schedule looks
Better.
Your chances of making the CFP is like tremendous.
Off the charts.
It's like somebody it's like Mississippi State and Vanderbilt has a say in what Florida and these dudes
but
and LSU.
there's more of them than there are of the powers.
But here's the thing. I already feel like it's going a whole another different way. The NCAA is about to be out of here.
Yep.
They're going to say,
Yeah, that's why I said it's a different conversation.
give me Ohio State, give me Michigan and Penn State, Notre Dame, and they go down there and mingle with SEC teams. The rest of these teams might as well just get ready for it. You put the MAC teams in, Conference USA,
They should have their own playoffs.
and y'all go do your thing. But it's going to be 50, it may be 25 to 50 teams that's legitimate top Power 5 schools.
Kind of like the NFL.
Yes.
I mean, you got 32 teams.
Yeah.
And, you
About
know,
10
of
12.
them don't have a chance.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
22 of them, you could make a case for
Right.
them doing something.
And
If they
they'll
are
give
going to
checks.
keep the Big Ten as a conference and not go to the Super, I think they're headed that way too. But I would like to even see them cut down the regular season schedule and have instead of just a championship with the 2 best Big Ten teams, have a 14 playoff in the Big Ten in those final couple of weeks before you get to the regular playoff. Wouldn't that be more?
Well,
wouldn't that
yeah,
be
but
exciting?
now you're adding a lot to the schedule.
Well,
Well,
he
you
said
cut down the
he
regular
cut
season
down
a little.
12 games.
You would, but I mean,
And then you get two. The
So
team
you-
that wins with 2 high-quality wins at the end
So
of the year.
you saying go instead of 12 games, make it 10, and then the last
Exactly.
well, that was we did it in a practice show. We haven't done it on a real show yet. But,
You gotta drop that.
And I am going to drop it as we get closer to college football season.
Yeah.
But Ty, my plan is to have a 12-team college football playoff.
Okay.
And here's in the nutshell how it works: the Power Fives
Yep.
all get the auto bid for the conference championship.
Okay.
There are 7 at-larges
Okay.
that come from the other college football programs.
Okay.
The top 4 seeds get first-round byes, and the 1 seed would play the lowest remaining seed from 5 through 12.
I tell you what.
I'll do that
And
tomorrow.
5 through 8 would get a home game.
5
in the
through 8,
round.
first
I'll tell you-
round is home. The 4 teams that got byes would host the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And then, like we have now, the semifinals would be at predetermined sites. Championship game also at a predetermined site.
I think that'll be okay. I can see that working out. I think it would.
Right now, we get 3 playoff games.
it
This
would-
system would give us 9.
It would create some excitement because
No doubt.
what if one of those low-ranked teams actually does
Win.
just so happen to have the right recipe to knock one of
Right.
them?
What
and
if-
people are really tuned into that.
Absolutely.
So
it would,
it would be interesting.
it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
It would. And it would generate
It
triple
gi-
the revenue.
It gives people a chance. It gives those low-ranked teams a chance to go against these big dogs and
Sure.
be like, let's see if you are good enough.
And as you mentioned briefly when we talked about this, the college football, the best teams disappear for like a month.
Yeah.
Or more. You lose the momentum. I
Talk
feel
about
like.
that, Ty.
I
When you won
think-
the national championship game, after the Big Ten championship game, you guys went into
Uh,
mothballs
yeah.
for almost 4 weeks.
But you know that's not bad though.
No, you get that
Because
rest up
you
and
need
get
your
healthy.
body to recover. Going
Right, but
through
if you
12
played less
games,
regular season games,
you still gonna need some recovery
Yeah.
time. Like that.
Well, but how about 2 or 3 weeks instead of like 6 weeks?
Oh, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
It
mean-
depending on the injury.
What are you guys doing during that time period? Are you just chilling or
So,
you got practice?
so when you go bowl games, so you got the bowl game. So when we played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, we had like a month or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
a long time.
So
Yeah, finals in
Yeah,
there.
you get finals. So you come in. It's 3 phases. Coach Meyer breaks it up into 3 phases. The first phase is a fun phase. We was in there playing like speed ball. It was like people putting on different jerseys. It was just fun. Like we weren't really focused on Alabama. 2, you speed it up a little bit. You start introducing people to what Alabama's going to do.
Okay.
You know, you start putting all right, that's the formation. We're going to game plan this, blah, blah, blah. You go home for a break, Christmas break. When you come back, now you're in phase 3. Now it's game time. Now we reveling everything up. Now it's like a regular game week.
Yeah.